Welcome to Fight Life Connoisseurs. I'm Andrew Freelove.
And I'm Francesca, Dominique.
Here we go. Episode 1. Modelo time, please.
Yeah. Big time.
So we'll back up a little bit. We just had some big events here in December. We had UFC 245. Usman versus Covington. Pretty much saved the card because the prelims were pretty good, but the rest of the main card wasn't so much until you got to the co-main and the main event. And that main event was just amazing. Literally finished him with, what was it, a minute left?
Yeah, there's about 50 seconds left, I think.
And you could kind of call it a premature stoppage, which Kobe was calling.
Which is interesting because I feel, right, we all kind of know, like, okay, because I had called into XM Radio to talk to Jimmy Smith about what their thoughts were, and someone came on right before me, and he was like, is it premature stoppage, fuck what anybody else says, and then Jimmy was like, no, like, you sound dumb. Yeah, he's like, why would you know, like, what up, like, but I'm like, okay, I can understand to, like, a fight fan, right, you want to see, especially in a, like, championship bout, right?
They're making so much money, and, like, even him, he's like, let me go out. A lot of them say that. I mean, same way with me. It's like, if there's a lot of money on the line, like, come on.
I mean, yeah, in a championship, you want to see them out, but, right, we already knew that something was happening with his jaw. There was something broken in his jaw at that point, and we all knew where it was going. You know, when he dropped him, there was still 50 seconds left. I think that's where I'm coming up with that number.
Usman was a patient killer. Like, even when he wobbled him the first time, and then at that point, it was the first time pretty much seeing Covington back up in the fight. Otherwise, it was all forward.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of like, okay, well, you either let this professional athlete, right, because this is a sport. A lot of people forget that, you know, this is a sport. Like, okay, how much damage does this dude need to take if we all know where it's going? You know, he got dropped twice, like, he's not going to get back up. We all knew where it was going. And I feel promotional-wise, it gives Colby a little bit of wiggle room, you know, to talk shit and fucking say, no,
I never got finished by you. What are you talking about? Exactly. Mark Goddard saved you.
Right?
You didn't save me.
Maybe
those calls, too, the penalties. He was calling BS on the penalties for a groin shot.
Yeah, and like fake eye pokes or something. When it was like clearly.
I think the eye poke, they showed the video, it was substantial.
Yeah, I was like, that's.
I'm going to agree with the groin too. So he went for like a flying knee or like a kick, and like the toe caught the tip of the cup.
And it's kind of similar what happened to
And he didn't really look tired
Struve.
Anyway, so I don't think it was Usman trying to cheat, like taking some time off in the cardio battle.
Which Usman's cardio, that answered all questions about that. We were like, maybe he's at a B plus and Colby's at like an A. Like, no, those
great.
Body shots. Oh my God, Colby was tired. He looked tired at the end.
Oh yeah, there was some good pictures of the body shots. Usman posted later, right to the gut. And Kobe was doing that too, but from southpaw. He was doing that low kick to the body, right to the liver. Sometimes to go up high. That was about. He threw that left kick over and over, especially in the beginning of the fight.
And there was like 0 takedown attempts.
I think it was mostly because of the orthodox southpaw. So it's a lot harder when you're opposite stances, your lead foot to lead foot. To split them, you need to step your left foot forward for Kobe. Usman would have to step his right foot forward.
Have you noticed that when you fight as well? Because you're a southpaw.
Yeah, southpaw. Yeah. Sometimes I'll switch to orthodox if I'm looking for a takedown. Spoiler. Or you just do the jab to the lead single. But it's a hard takedown because it's kind of, it's definitely, you need to still put your left foot forward. You're kind of telegraphing. It's more time for the guy to react, aka sprawl, cross face, chain wrestle. Especially if somebody's like say a Tony Ferguson that can like really chain wrestle and just scramble. Yeah. You don't want to waste a single second.
Oh, for sure. One thing that I was when I was looking at the breakdown of this fight, I'm like, they're pretty even.
They are. Stylistically, I knew it was going to be a good fight.
But power-wise, I was like, okay, you know? And they were hanging in there.
In Covington, you have to give volume, and that showed in the fight. I think he landed more.
Yeah.
And that's why you could give the argument, if they hadn't stopped it, he would have won the decision.
Yeah.
And at that point, when he did get dropped, when there was like that deer in the headlights look, like, you knew at that point, I'm not trying to finish you. I'm just trying to survive and win the decision.
Yeah. I feel like there's a moment. Like, refs are really good at what they do. Some of them are shitty, but they can tell.
Mark Goddard was a pretty good ref.
Yeah.
You're not gonna
and he's done a lot of main
that.
events. I think he did Busan as well, right? He did the main event there.
Might have. I'm not quite sure.
Maybe. But, I mean, they know when the look in a man's eyes changes. Or when the look in a fighter's eyes change where they're like, oh,
and it goes back to that thing, like, just let him fight. And I feel like Herb Dean's always been great, but he's robbed me of some great fights. We're talking about, like, the Frankie Edgar, Gray Maynard, those kind of fights. The ones where they get dropped over and over, and they're still going, the comeback fights.
Yeah, he lets the boys play,
the Cinderella story.
For
so, yeah, Herb recently has a lot of quick stoppage. Like, they get dropped, and he cuts it. But, you know, it's fighter safety versus, like, how bad do they want it? It's controversial. I wish they could just take an opinion, like a Q&A with the fighter before the fight. They're like, hey, if you're at least a little bit hurt, can I step in? And they'll answer yes or no. And
I think they try, and especially with, like, all the scrutiny on the sport as well.
With CTE.
You know? Yeah, and it's just like they want to kind of...
And it's not even on the promotions, it's more the commission. So the promotions will probably want them to go the fuck out.
Hence the Nate Diaz fucking New
Yeah.
York. I mean,
New York's so bad.
We all knew where it was going, but
that commission is notoriously horrible. Everyone complains about them.
Yeah, they definitely knew.
But we'll see definitely a third fight, and apparently his head coach, Dan Lambert, Covington's head coach, says he's fired, he's filled up. Because in his eyes, he thought it was premature, and that he should have won the decision.
And he's good to go, like, June, I think, right? June 2020 or something. I was reading something about
I'm not quite sure
that.
on the job, because some official sources said yes, and some officially said no. I think it was like a hairline fracture.
It's like a...
I think that's still broken, all right? It's a fracture. Hairline. Just a small broken.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Moving on, again, that co-main event saved the card. The pay-per-view portion, anyway. Like, if you're going to pay, I think they raised the price from, like,
really?
60?
From, like,
I think it was 70 this one.
Damn. Yeah, like 69 something. I remember reading that.
So, the other three fights on the card...
the other three the two other title fights. I mean, Holloway versus Volkanovski. That was interesting.
I knew that was gonna be a good fight. That was the one I actually like that one. I might be biased. I like the featherweights more. So, but I was looking forward to that one out of all of them.
It was just kind of like the way that he went in there, he executed a game plan, he got it done, boom, I have no quarrels about the win. But it wasn't like a dominant, I beat the champ, blah, 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 you know? Like, it wasn't like that at all. And Joe Rogan actually had Max on, like, the next day or something.
It was great. And he actually opened up about fighting. Because in Volkanovski, after the press conference, he's like, I don't want to give away too much, blah, blah, blah. So there's, like, a strategy. You don't want to your opponent. Like, but they're so smart. Both of them fight IQ. He comes from the Stylebender camp, the Kiwi Anzac camp. So he has Dan Hooker. I mean, Stylebender was in his corner. And I loved how Holloway was talking about it. But in the fight, if you watched it, Max's left calf from the right low kick was beat up. So Joe asked him, that's why he was at southpaw a lot.
He was like, I'm cool. Like, he said he was fine. I was like, what? How are you walking around after that?
Yeah, he went to like a Chainsmokers concert with dancing.
Like, what are you doing,
I
Max?
love him. He is the GOAT. He lost, and he's still the GOAT.
Yeah, he has such a good attitude about it.
Yeah, he's ready. They're going to run that back real quick.
I
just love on the podcast, too, he talked about the strategy. Like, he opened up. He didn't care. He's like, no, Joe actually was having success at southpaw. And I think he's going to do a lot more southpaw on the second fight.
Yeah, I mean, now that he knows that's kind of the game plan to beat Max, you know, or like at least on points, you know.
Because Max even said the reason he stayed at southpaw wasn't because he hurt his left calf. It was because the corner wasn't so vocal. So like Stylebender, they were silent when he was southpaw. Orthodox, it was dragon, which Max kind of found out meant, attack my left calf with the right leg.
Yeah, that was an interesting fight. Apparently, though, Volkanovski broke his hand, so we'll see.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, they
awesome.
said like they're waiting.
I mean, not awesome.
Yeah,
But awesome.
They're waiting to see like what goes on with that. So it's like, okay,
I wonder
now
if he
what
just
do
hit
we
at a
do?
bad angle because he really didn't land that much. It was really the low kicks. He won the point kickboxing kind of basically.
Yeah.
He won the decision, but he didn't win the fight. Not to sound like a tool.
Yeah, we needed one more round.
They need like 10. Their cardio, both of them's cardio is great.
Yeah, which was surprising. I mean, like, not surprising, but it's like, okay, props if you can hang with Max for 5 rounds, like.
The prop I want to give Volkanovski as the shorter fighter and having to be able to close distance. He was able to get in and out and not take that much damage versus like a Brian Ortega who was just getting eaten up with the volume of Max Holloway.
Yeah.
He didn't get eaten up with the volume. It was great.
It took a while for Max, I feel, to find his range. It was almost like a full round. I remember thinking like, what? Like, it's taking him a while to actually connect. And Volkanovski had the reach advantage, which was interesting because he's like 5 inches shorter.
Did he have a reach?
Yeah, he had a reach advantage. Yeah, by like 2
Does he have like gorilla arms?
Yeah, and they were talking about it. Let me.
He's Knuckle Dragon? What is that guy's genetics? Max Holloway, because he even talked about on the Joe Rogan podcast, was even talking about, he said he can get up to 180 when he's like, taking some time off. Usually probably he's around 175, which is why he kind of has trouble initially when he was supposed to fight Khabib at 55 and they pulled it, which was kind of BS. He could still have made it. But now we know how big Max Holloway is. I heard Brian Ortega is also very big for featherweight. He cuts a lot of weight.
Yeah. Brian Ortega looks really good right now. I feel like he's lost a lot of weight and is like really fit, really taking everything super serious, which is awesome. And then he got injured and then it was like, no.
Yeah. I mean, that was still a great fight. It was a counter boxer versus a volume boxer. It was kind of like an MMA version of Pacquiao versus Mayweather. It was great.
Fuck, I can't even.
But back to the Volkanovski. That was one great thing he did. Props on Max. He stuffed all takedowns, and Volkanovski. I thought he was gonna do that more. Put him on the fence, close the distance. So that's what he did to Chad Mendez, Aldo. Like Volkanovski, you can't hate on him because he took out those 2 big names, and he won the decision fight. Max contested that, and you could talk about this. It comes back to damage. So Max hit more on the head and body. Volkanovski really didn't target those. It was mostly the left low kick. The left calf for the right low kick. So, definitely can't wait for that one. Can't wait to run it back.
Yeah, Holloway had a 69-inch reach, and Volkanovski was at 71.5.
What? I still can't believe that.
He's like a little meatball. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I remember.
Frankie Edgar would wish for those genetics in the last 75 Holloway.
Yes. Yeah, fuck yeah. That's crazy.
Moving on, we'll just talk about the rest of the main card. Amanda Nunes, the GOAT of the females, until I think maybe Valentina, if she gets bored at 125, she'll bump up again because she had some real close fights with Amanda.
Exactly.
I'd like to see those two go at it. They fought twice and they're both really razor close, so third time's a charm. Yeah. Maybe Valentina can actually get a nod on the judges' scorecard.
And I mean, Durandamine, is that how you say it?
Jermaine, the Iron Lady. I just call her Iron Lady. She's actually fought a man in kickboxing.
Oh, yeah. She knocked him out, right?
I think so.
Crazy, dude. She's fucking huge.
And I think that's why it was part of Amanda's game plan. She did not want to stand with her. She took it to the ground.
It was,
And she knew she had that advantage.
But there was some moments in there where you're like, oh my god.
She got that triangle, but then got out.
And then hit her with that up kick. I was like, oh my god. She kept on coming in with her face above her hips.
And I think she landed some when they were on the feet before she got taken down. For the minute they were standing in between for a round.
Yeah.
But,
man.
I think Amanda kind of lost stock. She didn't finish her. I'm not just talking about the sub.
Yeah.
She could have TKO'd her, got her down to position.
Yeah.
She was definitely outclassed on the ground. I felt bad for the Iron Lady.
There was not much. There's not much you can do with Amanda on top of you like that.
I mean, they could run back probably home again since she knocked her out. For Nunes anyway. But otherwise, Cyborg's gone. She flew the coop.
I don't know if there's anything
like I said, Valentina bumping up. That's it.
Right? I want that fight.
I would love that fight.
That was crazy.
We got Faber versus Yan. Peter Yan is no joke. I think in Uriah's camp, Team Alpha Male, they should have been like. I mean, I think he shouldn't retire, not just yet. I think he still has some fight in him. He's still a great athlete. I just think it shouldn't be in the UFC. Like, I think the killers that are there, they're just getting better. There's always that new young blood. Those new hungry pit bulls.
But he's always a crowd draw, right?
He is.
And on Ariel Arwani,
Ariel show.
Every time on Ariel's show, like he was saying that at 40 he kind of wanted this as like his bucket list thing. So he wanted to fight like once a year, 4 fights once a year.
Man. Oh.
No, I don't think that was the right.
Devastating. Oh, those Russians. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. That was crazy. But I actually walked in. I went to a pay-per-view viewing at JP's, like in Fullerton. Curtis Millender was hosting it. And so I was watching the fights with them and kind of his coaches and stuff. And I walked in right as this fight was going. And like, as soon as I'm in there, like, Faber's already like fucked up low key. And then I see him get dropped and I'm like trying to order a water at the same time. I'm like, wait. Hold on. I need to watch this. And dude, his eye, that was the craziest shit. I was like, this is not okay. But it was cool of the ref to kind of keep it going as he did. You know, he let Faber he let him fight, which is cool, you know, but at the same time, it's like, does he need that?
Who was that ref? Do you remember? Who was that? But it was a Mark Garner because he wasn't. Cody Taylor was like, I want the Uriah Faber ref. He let it go.
Yeah. I don't want to say it was no nonsense, but I don't know. I don't know.
So definitely, Yan it was a good fight for Peter Yan. I think he gained stock. He's pursuing that. I mean, they should take Aldo and Yan now for 135 since Aldo beat Moraes, which I get to know is controversial. Removing that right now. He looked good though for the weight cut. Everyone was talking about how bad it was.
Yeah, I was when I was looking at the fight picks and everything, I was like, I'm not sure who I want to go with for this one. I was like, if Aldo shows up, and he's gonna be skinny, obviously, but I was like, if I don't see any dark circles or that gaunt, drawn in look, I was like, I think he'll be good to go. So he came in, he weighed in. Yeah, he looked skinny as shit, but he didn't look unhealthy. He still had kind of an upbeat.
Apparently, at 145, he ate whatever he wanted.
I was hearing
Apparently, he was just whatever. So
yeah.
Moving on to that, let's get into plant-based diets. We just recently on Joe Rogan there was Game Changers. Mm-hmm. They brought in a specialist that the guy's not actually a self-proclaimed nutritionist, but he's about that life, and he bashed James Wilkes' Game Changers about plant-based diet. James Wilkes came on the podcast, defended his arguments quite well, and taught me some things about the plant-based diet, which when I do go for the 145 cut, you have to go majority plants. A lot of the time, if it's not plants, I'm eating oatmeal. Maybe when I get down to when I'm dropping my meat on ounces, I'll take a food scale, go from 12 ounces, 8 ounces, down to about 6 ounces. 6 ounces of chicken. If I'm really feeling it and I miss it, some beef, like a filet mignon, some 6 ounces. But mostly you want to stick to lighter meats, so like a bird, so like chicken or fish, like salmon, something like that.
Yeah. You know what's funny is Eric was actually part of that study.
Yeah? Oh, was he really?
Yeah, he was. He was part of that study. Yeah.
The Dutch touch.
Yeah, so, because he's friends with
You know what?
James,
It was a good thing on that podcast, too. They recognized in research that there's other factors. Like, what if this guy's just a drunk? What if this guy's taking other substances we don't know? His bodies. Everyone's bodies are different. So it's hard to tell.
Yeah, it was interesting.
You can be vegan or a vegetarian and still be super unhealthy. Yeah, you cut out meat, but then... Hey, I'm eating cake all the time or candy. Yeah. Or I'm an alcoholic.
Yeah, you kind of have to watch it. But I mean, from being around Eric and having his, you know, everything that was like went into the vegan fighter diet, if you will, it was just very like, he was like, I have to make sure I get this, and this, and like kind of feed those deficiencies. So,
yeah, B12. We'll bash that real quick because I thought, you know, that was the one thing that vegans have to take is B12 because that's what they can't get from meat. But apparently meat doesn't have B12 in it. It does have it, but it gets it from, like, I guess the ground or the water.
You still have to supplement, I think, right? For that? Like
so for the most part, your in your meat it happens to B12, but animals don't naturally have B12. They get it from, like, the ground. It was so weird.
Oh.
You gotta give it a follow on Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I couldn't even really listen to like the full
But yet again,
podcast.
you just get a B12 supplement and you're good to be vegan.
Yeah.
Or just be a vegetarian and eat eggs or the chicken period.
Yeah. Good.
And cheese. So most of I'm gonna give a shout out to Jake Shields and like the Scrap Pack up in the 209. You got like Jake Shields, who's always been a vegetarian, the Diaz brothers. Yeah. Every once in a while, I think they do eat fish, like shrimp and things like that. I think I saw them on like on CNN, and they brought like, was it Anderson Cooper or somebody on it? They did an interview, and they found this bomb local seafood restaurant. Yeah. You gotta get those cockroaches. Yeah. Spicy. Yeah, I'm all about that. But yeah, so those guys been on vegetarian before it was cool for fighters. Yeah. And Jake Shields, like when I was talking to him, when I did a jiu-jitsu seminar with him, he's like, yeah, once in a while I have like a bean and cheese burrito. That's like my fat diet. You know, like an egg, bean, and cheese burritos. You can still eat cheese as a vegetarian and eggs. Yeah. But for the most part, it's still plant-based, which is good for most athletes, especially if you're going to cut weight. Yeah. Exactly, if you're going to cut weight. You got to stay lean. You got to get exactly what you need. Nothing. You don't really need fat, less. And then you get some fat from most meats. You don't really get any fat from like straight up. I'm eating broccoli or celery or spinach leaves. I'm not going to get fat from that. Yeah. Is that nourishing? No. That's why I hate it. Yeah. It was interesting when they did, because what Eric had to do for the test or whatever was to eat like a vegan meal and then eat like a meat meal, right? And it was about a week and a half before his pro debut, and I think that might have affected. He was doing that for the pro debut. Yeah, I mean he was already on weight, but I think it affected. It stuck. And you could see it, that it stuck. He was like, okay, now I have to do a little bit more. And so, but it was an interesting thing because then they got to use data from someone that was actually kind of like cutting weight that may or may not, that really need that shit, That's cool. That's pretty cool. Good on them. Yeah, I don't know if they like cited him in it for that specific or how many fighters they did that to. Yeah, or just not even fighters. People that they mainly did NFL, I think. Football players. Other weight cutters. So like NFL, I don't think would cut weight. It would be so like wrestlers, jiu-jitsu guys, practitioners. Yeah. Other kickboxers. Any discipline that requires cutting weight before you. Where weight's a big factor in what with weight classes basically. Yeah. 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 It's very, very interesting. I think we talked about anything. Oh, so moving on. We'll go back to UFC 245. Let's do the prelims. Irene Aldana went 125. She's next in line. She got that nice boxing victory. She made a boxing fight and knocked out Vieira. Yeah. It was a good fight. She's coming from Guadalajara. So, those pretty like, Mexican ladies, that's your fan favorite. She is definitely one of my favorite strikers. Like she is, like when you notice people's movement, like, and you're like, wow, they're great. Like all her, she's tight. Her punches are straight. Like she can really tee people out. I forget who she fought her last outing, but she climbed up the ladder at 125. Yeah, like really like. And if she comes from a major camp, I think she's not. Yeah, she's not, and she's older as well, I believe. Oh, I think you're right. Not like super old or however. But she's like, I don't think she's in her 20s. Yeah. That's definitely not true. But she's always been she's been the underdog in her last two fights, and this lady is a fucking killer. And Vieira was the contender. She was actually the next in line, and Aldana just stole it. Yeah. With that impressive knockout. Yeah, that was crazy. And now she has Valentina, which is a whole other thing. Just that Jessica I fight. Just went body. Jesus. Got Jessica I, like to think about the body, dropped her hand. Oh, head kick. Yeah. Ouch. Jessica I was on this card too as well. And she had a nice comeback win. Yeah. It was crazy because she was the only fighter to not make weight. She blew it by like 4 or 5 pounds or something. And against someone who's fucking fast. Like the chick, it was like something. Dude, she's fast. Yeah. She's really quick. I was like, I wonder if that was like a strategy or what. I mean, she got interviewed about it like afterwards. Apparently she had a back problem for the Valentina fight. Not to take it away from Valentina's one. I think it would have ended up the same way. She's had kind of a lot of it. But Ives actually one of the OGs at 125. She only went to bantamweight because there wasn't a 125 class, and then UFC started 125, and I knew she was going to be fighting for a title. Yeah, she was a fucking monster. But Valentina, yet again, is another question. Yeah. It's crazy how John Jacek bumped up to 125, fought her, lasted 5 rounds. Yeah. So John Jacek on 115, is taking it back. It's coming up soon, the Zhang Weili fight. Yeah. She's going to take back her title. I don't know. Yeah.
I think so too.
She's hungry.
We'll see.
Honorable mentions. We have Matt Brown looking good. I thought he was gonna keep it standing, but he put Ben Saunders, who has a crazy jiu-jitsu guard game, with 10 Planet, rubber guard. I think he has one of the few omoplata submissions. I don't think he have a twist or anything.
Yeah, and Saunders he's been active. Matt Brown has not been active, which was interesting. I think because he was hurt
for a while.
Yeah, but it's like when you kind of look at it, you're like, maybe he does. I mean, he was one of the biggest underdogs on the card.
He took him down and pounded out a TKO, and I did not expect that. I thought it was going to keep standing.
But good for him.
Jeff Needleby and Mike Perry. Poor Mike Perry. Mike Perry's a fan favorite, but got no love. But he takes his L's like a boss. He's like, I got him this time. I'll get him. He's just a G.
Yeah, he's so funny.
Chase Hooper, the guy that looks like he's 12. I think he's actually...
He's the youngest fighter on the UFC roster.
Is he 18 or 20, actually? Is he actually 18? I think he might be 18.
Yeah, I think so.
He looked good. And Tamur, there's the two Tamur brothers, or Swedish. There's Daniel and David. He fought David. Daniel's a better one, but they're at different weights. And it was... David did not want to tap. He's like, I'm not letting this 12-year-old beat me.
Yeah.
And then eventually, too little too late, it was definitely Ben Askren S. And Ben Askren actually tagged him and memes like, congratulations, son. And he's like, thanks, Dad. I wonder why you left when I said wrestling sucked.
Oh, my God.
Definitely a straight grappler. He's a Damian Maia, Ben Askren. He's trying to get you to the ground. It's kind of like Mike Chiesa. He comes from, I think, that Washington State camp where it's just like a lot of grapplers. Mike Chiesa actually looked good at welterweight recently with some striking, but for the most part, Mike Chiesa at 155 was a straight grappler. Take your back, I'm going to choke you out. He has a lot of rear naked choke wins.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, when I was looking at this fight, to be honest, I watched Chase Hooper and I wasn't very excited. Wasn't very excited about him. And then I watched
12,
and then I watched Daniel Tamur and I was like, I'm not very excited. I don't know. It wasn't.
David's a better striker. And David has some great striking wins. Daniel, not so much.
It's
Daniel
not
has some L's too.
Necessarily a super high level matchup, right? But they're grooming Hooper. That's why I feel they're grooming him big time because I mean, within the opening seconds, he gets fucking rocked. And then he's up on the fence in this guillotine, fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, that was perfect. He
right?
Up.
And it was just like
it was a wild debut.
Yeah, it was crazy. But then I was like,
he's coming out the Contender Series.
Yeah, I was like, there wasn't. I don't know. I just wasn't really too excited.
It was a nice
about
comeback, grappling win, but just the fact that he got tagged. If he goes up the upper echelon of 145.
Yeah.
As a beat Jeremy Stevens.
It's
imagine we went against Jeremy Stevens, uppercut.
I mean, he's like 5'11", right? Fucking
he's
ridiculous.
A big,
he kind of reminds me of Sean O'Malley, but Sean O'Malley's a little bit more a knockout art.
Versus a
coming
grappler,
back, hopefully. Hopefully he's coming back.
Yeah. 135 still open. 125.
Yeah.
We'll get into it.
Yeah, there's a lot of good fighters coming up.
We saw the Moreno versus Kai Francis. Those were two high lightweights.
Yes, I was very, very excited. Very excited for this fight, actually, because, what's it called? Brandon Moreno was coming into it as a big dog. Actually, pretty big dog. It was like +2 something or something.
He's a fighter, bro. He's got some nice wins. He's nice repertoire. He's well-rounded too. They both are.
Yeah.
But the grappling, I would give to Moreno, which I think he used to win the fight.
Yeah. But it was very interesting how he was able to kind of.
He has that Mexican boxing style. I mean, he's a DJ fighter.
Down. Yeah. I think Kai France is more of a confidence fighter. If the fight is going well, he does better.
He's
but
better
once it starts going down,
he's from Tiger Muay Thai. He got a scholarship to go to Tiger Muay Thai.
Yeah, at he did his.
He's definitely a prodigy.
17 or something. Yeah,
but either way, those two could still be in the rankings. So
for sure.
We just announced Benavidez and Davison are going to fight for the flyweight since Cejudo vacated it.
Yeah,
so
that'll be exciting.
Those rankings. So whoever wins this one, I'm going to say Benavidez. He's the clear contender. Yeah. The other ones, it was still kind of murky. There was Jesse Forminga, and then Davison has a nice submission win over him, I believe. Yeah. Or maybe a TKO. Can't quite remember. But it's still open the air for all flyweights. Yeah. So just win some fights, move up the rankings. Yeah. You'll get a flyweight title. Get it done. Meanwhile, Mighty Mouse is sitting over in 1FC whatever.
Yeah.
It was debatable whether he lost his title to Cejudo in that decision. Now Cejudo's gone, probably because he doesn't want to make 125 anymore. Most people, when they win that upper belt, I don't want to go back down to that lower weight. That weight got stuck. Cejudo is notorious for not.
Did you see his Colby-esque call out of Aldo?
Yeah. I think he just sees that as a good fight. I think he maybe thinks he could take down Aldo at 135 and just demolish him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, he had a great win over Moraes, who was taking the fight, and then he just said, fuck it, Mexican boxing style. Close the distance. And really, Moraes, I think, cuts a lot of weight, so he can't last that long in a 5-round fight, or even a 3-round fight.
Moraes is pretty
and he looks to knock you out
fight.
with that left switch kick in the first round like he did with Jimmy Rivera.
Yeah.
If he doesn't knock you out in the first, he's kind of like a McGregor. He needs to knock you out. Most of the time, if it goes to a decision.
Yeah, he's a big boy. Still number 1. Still a big boy.
Let's move on to boxing. Earlier we had Luis versus AJ.
2.
Apparently he weighed 15 pounds over the weigh-in, so I think he was partying up in Saudi Arabia. Maybe get some drinks. I know the whole camp, he didn't really take it serious. You can't really blame the guy because he just became a millionaire. He has money. He went from nothing to somebody.
Yeah. I mean,
and he still, it was a close fight. He didn't really get, like, demolished. They're going to run it back for 3.
But, I mean, if he came in and did, like, the thing about Joshua is, like, dude, Joshua, imagine the pressure there.
What was supposed to happen in the first fight? AJ was supposed to outbox him with a jab.
He was gonna fight what, Baby or something, Baby Miller, whatever his name is, or what. Okay, yeah. So AJ had prepared for a much bigger fighter. I mean, he was supposed to run over Ruiz, right? But when I saw Ruiz fight live at StubHub, and he fought this Russian dude that straight up looked like he was made in a lab. Like, that shit made no sense. I was like, oh my God, he's going to get murdered. But no, like, Ruiz is fast, man. He's fast, has good hand speed, beat him up to the body so bad he didn't even come out. And they announced him the winner. And then the next fight was the AJ fight. So it's kind of interesting. He was kind of riding this momentum, and a lot of people that didn't know of him were like, oh, like he's just going to smash him.
Now he's like a fan favorite. And not even with the Mexican crowd. Granted, he is representing Mexico with the first heavyweight champion.
Yeah, first heavyweight. There it goes. First heavyweight champion, a Mexican heavyweight champion. He was like on Jimmy Kimmel the next day. And, you know, I was hearing, like, I mean, on Joe Rogan, he talked about it as well. It was very hard to get him in the gym. It was hard to get him to train. I mean, he did pretty fucking well. And his cardio wasn't that bad. You know, it was not that bad. Considering, like, he came in so much heavier than Joshua, who came in and did exactly what he was supposed to do. Everyone was mad about the whatever. He just tweet-footed, like, bro, he came in, dropped the weight, he like boxed his ass off. He did exactly what he was supposed to do after probably one of the worst embarrassments maybe this year in boxing. You know, like, I don't know, for someone like that, and to have all the things happen to him.
AJ was like, I'm way better than everyone.
Fuck.
I took off Clipco.
Instagram model, fucking, you know, no, I'm just kidding. But, I mean, he did exactly what he was supposed to do.
Excuse me. I think I want to say for British boxers. I mean, there's Joe Kazeki, but for heavyweight.
What's that other dude? He just fought. Joe. Billy Joe.
Oh, Billy Joe Saunders?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, right?
But
from England?
Lennox Lewis, who I think was just on Joe Rogan recently. He's kind of like the heavyweight British, and I think they get kind of past the I think they talk and they train together, him and AJ.
Yeah.
So they have the same similar style, just the sweet science, the distance, the jabs. And that's how AJ won the fight, the second fight, which he should have did in the first one, that people are saying.
Yeah, I think Joshua, people give him shit, but I think he did exactly what he was supposed to do, and he came out with the win, and, you know, Ruiz knew.
So crazy right now.
Yeah, right? And then there was a thing out on Instagram.
I'm just going to say Wilder.
Right? But there was a thing out on Instagram from AJ to Fury saying that he would help him train for Wilder.
Yeah.
I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Because eventually y'all are going to fight, like.
Maybe AJ's like, I don't want to fight Teddy Wilder.
Yeah, maybe I should get some exercise.
Fury, if you beat him, then I'll box you and we'll do the sweet science. I don't want to face that ungodly, unimaginable, unexplainable power.
I think they fight in February.
The Luis Ortiz fight, literally just didn't even hit him with a jab, blinded it. It was literally just blind him. Hit him on the forehead. Knocks him out. Like, hey, it's something out of a video game or a fictional movie.
He was fucking fucking losing.
Yeah, he was.
He's not the greatest boxer in the world.
He doesn't go in there to win the rounds. He goes in to just
for
finish
1
you.
second, 1 moment.
And that's kind of what happened in the Fury fight too. But
jeez,
he got up. Still contested whether he got up on time. I know that's a big thing.
Right. Yeah, but fuck it. He came back.
I'm just gonna say Wilder. Yeah. All these other boxers don't matter. I'm a Wilder fan right now.
Yes.
And I can't really even explain it technically what he's doing. He's just ungodly. He's a demigod power.
Yeah. Boxing is so exciting right now. Boxing is so exciting. I mean, we had, the same weekend as UFC 245, we had the Crawford fight. He was the main event. I was watching it kind of at the same time as the UFC event, and man, Crawford got bopped. Really bopped. One of those things. I was like, his face went like 3 frames over. I was like, what is happening? I was like, what is happening?
Oh,
like,
gosh.
but he ended up winning, dropped the guy. But the guy was doing very, very well. I forget. He fought some Russian dude, I believe. But it was a mandatory defense, so no one really expected, this is not the fight that we want to really like see necessarily. It was good boxing. It was good display. But it's the next fight that we want to see out of Crawford. And then we had Teofimo versus
I can't wait.
What? Oh my God, Richard Comey, I believe. I've seen Comey fight live, and he was pretty good. It was a really close fight from what I remember. He actually fought. Did he fight Patrick Day? The dude that died?
Familiar.
Because Patrick Day fought later. Hold on, Richard.
Right now, that picture at that, I believe they're all in close proximity. They might have to bump up or bump down, but right now there's Lopez, Lomachenko, and right now they're stirring the pot because Lopez is like, I'm going to replace you. I'm going to take your hype, but I'm going to talk about Mayweather's protege, Gervonta Davis.
He fought Beltran.
Gervonta Davis, Lomachenko, Lopez. Those 3, I can't wait to see who comes the best out of those 3.
Yeah.
It's like those. It's just like Mayweather, Canelo, and Pacquiao. Like, they're all going to fight. Who's the better out of those 3? Yeah. It eventually was Mayweather. So let's see if Davis, his protege, will, best Lomachenko and Lopez.
I don't know. Davis is...
Right now I'm pro Lomo because he's just beautiful when you watch. I can just...
And they're going to make that fight next, Teofimo and Lomachenko. I'm like, no, give Teofimo like 2 more fics. I know it's shitty in terms of money-wise, but please give him 2 more fights. I believe... But they have the similar number of fights.
And he's called them out.
Yeah. And he's a really good person. Like,
so
him and his dad are really
beats calls out Gervonta Davis, and pretty much solidifies himself as the GOAT for that division.
Yeah. Fuck. That would be crazy. But I say Teofimo and Lomachenko beat Davis. I feel like Lomachenko will probably do a sounder job just because of the speed. I mean, Davis does pack a bigger punch, though.
Yeah, he's an explosive guy. So it's really, if it goes past the beginning rounds, I'd say if he doesn't knock him out in the first 4, then yes, it's going to go to decision.
And if he comes taking it seriously. Because Davis tends to kind of blow up on the off.
He tends
to get really big.
He's with the Mayweather, bro.
Which is whatever. As long as
probably owning strip clubs. I think he
Yeah.
owns a strip club called Girl Collection. Like, of all places to name a strip club, Mayweather. And he's got money for days.
Yeah. I mean, he does fine. He showed up. He's done his job. Whatever. But I don't know. I just feel like as far as momentum-wise, Teofimo, Lomachenko, they have that momentum. They have that image. They can be pushed as champions more so. Davis, he's still undefeated, right? But who has he been fighting? That's what I kind of look at. Like,
his actually repertoire doesn't look that good.
I don't know.
Got some good
I'm
fights.
more impressed in the fact that he fought on his 3rd fight or whatever for a title or some crazy shit. Like, he's been fighting at the highest level for a long time. I trust that a little bit more. I trust him a little bit more with that. But we'll see. We'll see if Bob Arum is trying to do that, because we have 2 top-ranked fighters and 1, Floyd Mayweather fighter. So
Davis is no joke, though. Like I said, if he goes
can't
past
count
round 4,
him out. Yeah, he definitely packs a punch for sure.
He's so explosive. It was like a young Mayweather. Before he became a defensive point-style boxer, Mayweather was knocking people out because he was young and explosive.
Yeah, he was pretty boy Floyd.
Young. Oh, yeah, it's the 90-day difference between young and old, and just the styles. It's crazy.
Yeah, good lord.
You want to talk about Glory, right?
Yes.
Nuts picture of Glory. Kickboxing, why isn't it bigger?
Before we move on to that, we need to hit Daniel Jacobs.
We skipped. Oh, my bad.
This weekend. No, it's okay because it all happened this weekend, so we're all in the same realm here.
So much fighting lately, especially this last weekend.
Good Lord. I thought I was going to die because I had to watch so many fights. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? What is happening? But we had Jermell Charlo versus Tony Harrison 2. I had Charlo from... not in the first one, but the second
has a brother too, and they're both...
Yes, they're twins, I believe.
Did one of them have a belt? Did they both have belts? I can't remember.
Well, he lost his belt. I believe he's the only twin that has lost. I want to say that, but I don't know if that's true or not. I like their
like kind of gimmick they have, their style, their the showmanship, the WWF kind of aspect. They're kind of ballers.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't watch the full fight. I did see like the highlights of it towards the end, and I mean, Harrison, they were saying, that everyone pretty much had him up. Some of the people had him winning. He was kind of showboating, feeling himself, and then he got caught. Then he got caught again. So it was just like, pinatas to the ground. But it was an interesting matchup. So now he has his belts back. So that's good. So good for him. And then Daniel Jacobs fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
And Senior, we just watched it. Yeah. He was in the cage side like, damn it.
Yeah, he clearly knew what was going on.
He won the first, and you could say the fifth. That fifth he came back, the one afterwards that they stopped in the corner when he broke his nose.
Yeah.
And it was broken because we saw the blood, and we heard him talk to his corner like, hey, it's broken, and I don't want to continue. People were criticizing him for that, but it takes me back, like, we don't know how bad of a break it was. Was his nose disintegrated for all we know? Like a Rory McDonald, Robbie Lawler?
Yeah.
Where we had to drop in pain?
Yeah, I mean, but I feel like it's like coming in, there's controversy, right? He came in 5 pounds overweight.
And it's Jacobs, who really only has 2 notable losses lately to Canelo. And that was a close fight. I think they could run that bout back.
Went the distance again. So, I mean, he's no joke. But, I mean, like, the complaining through the fight, I know that the announcers had kind of touched on that, like, you're not supposed to complain. And he just, stop, But it's interesting how he kind of, you break your nose, right? Obviously, you don't know how bad it is. But you would think, as a fighter, that you would walk through that. I don't know, bro. Like, you're on this huge stage, like, bro, you better fucking eat that shit.
I think he knew he wasn't going to finish him, and I think he knew, what's the point of risking?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to get boxed.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll run it back again, and I won't break my nose this time.
Yeah,
I feel like at that point, he's like, I'm already down. Was that round 5? 3-2?
But still, bro, you got 12 rounds. Yeah. You could have done something. Obviously, I don't think Jacobs is going to get worse.
I think he felt it was going to get worse. Yeah. I think Jacobs was picking up.
But yeah, he was definitely. Science. I don't know. It kind of reminded me of...
Chavez had to basically make it a brawl to win it, and I don't think he could do that.
Yeah, especially if you stop when your nose... I don't know. It doesn't seem really about that life in a way to where you're like, oh, let's weigh the options, right? I can come back another day. See what's going on there, or I could just stop. But it reminds me similar of Diego De La Hoya, actually, who was undefeated before he met Ronnie Rios, who was the one I was talking about that trains with Robert Villa.
Oh, yeah.
So, because I see him walk up, and I'm like, oh my God, fucking Robert's cornering. Like, I didn't know. So I was hyped. I was super hyped.
Our Villa, bro. Check him out on Instagram.
And,
yeah, he's got some good fighters. He bounces around a lot of gyms.
Yes, he does. And he's super, I've worked with him too. And I mean, I'm not like any professional or whatever, but I learned a lot from him, especially like hitting mitts and seeing things differently. But his fighter, Ronnie Rios, ended up knocking De La Hoya down. And it was the first knockdown of his career. He was undefeated. And then we thought the ref called it, right? And then we go back behind. It was like at StubHub. We go back into the back room or whatever where they have all the reporters and stuff. And Rios was saying, no, he actually quit. Like, he actually said, no, I'm good. So he got dropped once, which is interesting because both of these fighters come from heritage. They're both, he was like a nephew, I believe, the nephew of De La Hoya. But it was still kind of like, okay, you got this name, bro. You know, like, what are we going to do with it? You can't just be fucking riding the wave, you know. But
name, the ancestry really gets you. I remember people were booing one of the Gracies. There's a few Gracies fighting for Bellator, like all the long distance. I mean, the Gracie family's huge, the cousins.
Yeah.
And we're not even talking about big names like Khan or anything.
Yeah.
It's just people criticize them when they're not active.
It's interesting because it's like a fine line.
They're like, you're a Gracie, you're supposed to be amazing. I'm like, well, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. It's not like it's like an easy thing to deal with, but you would think that skin would be a little bit tougher. But obviously you don't know the circumstances. Like, I'm not a professional boxer, so how the fuck would I know? But from the outside looking in, you're like, did he give up? Like, what are we doing? You know? But I don't know. It's such a shame too, because losses mean so much in boxing. That's like, okay, well, you know, like, you kind of want to push through it if you can, because then people look at the loss and will be like, oh, similar to Danny Jacobs, right? We're looking at it like, oh, he's lost to these top people. He went the distance with top people. Like, you know, I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
You can run those back. Like I said, I think you can run back the Canelo fight. He did really well with Canelo. I watched that fight. It was great. Yeah. The first one was great. And I think it's fun to watch people, because we already talked about all these rematches coming up. Holloway versus Volkanovski, Usman versus Covington. They're going to adjust their game plans. They're going to, I fought the guy now. I know what it's actually like. It's crazy when you haven't fought from someone before. And then you fight them. Like, when I had my actually first rematch against a guy I fought, we both had to adjust our game plans, adjust small little things. And it's like, who can adjust better? It's great. Yeah. Kind of just how you adjust between rounds, but now you have a whole camp to do it. Like a whole fight to change around. That's very interesting. Versus someone out of the blue that you've never fought before. Because you can see tape on them. Like, have you really... I mean, you can get people to mimic their styles and training and sparring. And you can only guess what they're actually going to do. Like, you know? They come out completely like new game plan. Yeah, you're like, hold on. Like, that's not your style at all. What? Yeah, fucking relax. Good Lord. Time out. Oh my God. Wait, we need to talk about this. Start in my corner. Yeah, Jesus. Re-strategize. So, all right, now we can go into glory. We can go into glory. My bad, sorry. I'm trying to jump the gun. Fucking Rico, Verhoeven versus Badahari. Pretty much the top of the game, and they fought before, correct? Yes, 3 years ago. And it was controversial then? Yes. I mean, Badahari has been over here slapping people in nightclubs and shit, so we had to get him out of trouble. And then he started training. He looked fucking good. I mean, they're pretty much in the kickboxing capital of the world. Where do they fight out again? I think the Netherlands. That's pretty much Dutch style kickboxing is where it's at. And it's both home for them as well, because Badahari trains at Mike's gym. Eric went there. Mike's gym in. He has Mike in his corner. Savage motherfucker. He's just fucking beast mode. Yeah, so that's pretty much the kickboxing capital of the world. You would think it would be like Thailand or Myanmar with Lethwei, but no, it's the Dutch. Netherlands. Yeah, huge kickboxing. And I mean, you look, the Reem came from there. Alistair Overeem, quite other big names. Yeah. You know what's interesting is Jairzinho, the dude that just beat Overeem. Jairzinho? Are you talking about the African guy, the giant dude? Yeah, but he's Surinamese, and Surinamese is a Dutch colony. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, so it was like the conqueror. Butcher the pronunciation. It's Rosenstruik. Oh, Rosenstruik or something. Yeah. Here on My Life Connoisseurs, we might be bad at pronunciation. I'm over here like soccer names, Jersey. Fucking relax. Yeah, Surinamese, which I thought was interesting. His lip is better now, by the way, too. Yeah, completely gone. It's completely disappeared. I'm like, where the fuck did they do that? But science. The fight versus those two is so anticipated. Like, I believe it was 30,000 people in there. Like, crazy event, and Badr drops Rico for the first time in his career in the first round with the right hand. Drops him, you know, he looks fine, he's fine, you know, he gets up and he still has his hands up like this, but you can tell he fucking take it till you make it. Get that fucking 10-second count in, you know what I'm saying? And then I thought Rico kind of came back in the second round. But what was interesting, which is what I noticed as well, what the announcers were talking about, is Rico wasn't really fighting the style of fight that he normally does.
Like, he normally will wait and kind of feel them out. Like, it's normally the later rounds where he's usually...
Yeah, he's not really a brawler. He's a...
Yeah, and he was going forward.
He feels people out.
Yeah, and they were like, oh my God, this is a crazy week over. And I was like, I don't know. They made like a huge deal about it. So I was like, okay, maybe we should recess this. But then he gets dropped again in the 3rd round. Again, by he goes down, he's like up against the ropes, and then he hits him with like a left high kick right across the top of his head. And then Rico gets dropped. And then literally maybe 10 seconds later, he goes to hit him with like his spin kick, which is like his, I don't know, his shit or whatever. Which he tried. Yeah. Second Combate Harry, man, that's him. And which he'd thrown earlier in the fight, and he had fallen every time. There's a lot of falls on Badahari's side. He just, I don't know what happened, but So he throws it. And immediately when he falls and hits the ground, he's like, like there was something going on. And it was just such this like controversial ending because he had gotten injured, or I don't know, Rico says he wasn't really injured in the first one because he was losing, but I don't know. But this was like a serious injury, like his ankle. They ended up, it looked like it could have been his knee, but they ended up getting icing his ankle and stuff. And so the fight ended like that, and it was just a very, kind of lackluster ending to this big build-up after 3 years, and who knows when Badahari's ever going to get back in there depending on the injury. So but it was cool. They're like, Rico posted this thing online.
They're definitely and he at the top. Them and, I don't know if Raymond Daniels is going to get back to glory in kickboxing. It'd be nice to see those. Because that we have our traditional kickboxing, Muay Thai, and then with that little flair, the spinning stuff, Taekwondo.
Spinning shit. The spinning shit as
spinning shit now? And we've seen that now. All these new fighters. I mean, we've seen it with Wonder Boy, those karate style. Now Michael Venom Page.
Yeah.
Which is weird because our first karate guy was kind of like Lyoto Machida. It was like a backup, runaway, and then hurry up.
Yeah.
When he came in, boom, starched.
Yes, that part.
So those point kickboxers, the ones with their hands down in that side angle stance, looking for that weird crescent kick. It's crazy. It's a great time to be alive right now in combat sports.
For real.
Especially if you're a fight nerd.
Big facts.
Moving on, let's go on to Combate Americas. Right now they're doing a tournament style. Everybody loves tournament style. I think it goes back to like the Karate Kid. Work your way to the top. You're the best around. Right now they're doing a lightweight tournament. My favorite to win it, big kind of name is Eric Gonzalez, Ghost Pepper. That's a name. That's a nickname. Yeah, Ghost Pepper.
It's a good one.
He's been fighting with Combate Americas for a while, and I think he'll take it. Look into Combate Americas. I know they're kind of slow stream. You don't even have to be Hispanic to actually fight for them. Because recently, Nadine Belgium, a local fighter out of here, I think at 115, she just fought and she was throwing up a Belgian flag. And like, so you don't exactly have to be Hispanic to fight in Combate Americas, but it's mostly Hispanic fighters for the Hispanic base. They usually commentate and announce in Spanish. So look into Combate Americas. It's a good one. UFC Busan, not a big hitter because the time zones. Nobody's gonna stay up and watch the main card at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I was fucking confused because I thought it was gonna be like Saturday.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, no, they're like forward.
I remember looking. There was a prelim that started like 11 at night.
Yeah, they started at 11. I was like, bitch. I thought it was going to be the next day.
The two major fights, of course, Edgar got knocked out by Korean Zombie. Korean Zombie stock was raised. It was only stock got dropped when he got a weird weird knockout by
It was 4 minutes, 59 seconds when that should happen. But I think, I don't know, he was winning that fight up until that point.
Yeah, so I think he's still a contender. You could definitely give Volkanovski, Holloway, all those big leagues a beat.
Yeah. He's fucking exciting. He's fucking exciting.
He just goes forward and he has that stoic, like, fit. That's why I call him the zombie.
For real.
So Edgar was supposed to fight Sandhagen. He was supposed to drop down to 135, and I know Sandhagen was pissed because he took this fight at 145. And their fight's not going to happen now for sure. He just got dropped. He's going to be suspended for a while.
Yeah.
His comments are like, yeah, good on him. I think he's going to drop down still and cut the weird haircut. Everybody was commenting on his hair, how it was like a fro.
Dude, well,
and he's like, I'm going to get a haircut after the fight.
It made the shots more significant because when he gets his head hit, the fro like moves, and so you're like, shit, he got rocked. He got fucking rocked. But that was crazy. I mean, Zombie just waited with those counters, man, and Frankie comes in. That's the way he fights, you know. So, that was very interesting display. It's amazing how Frankie Edgar, hung on for as long as he did. He was like on the ground for at least like 2 minutes. It was.
He was on I think Schwab's podcast or Below the Belt, and he's like, "Oh, I've never got a concussion. I've never thrown up before. I've never went out."
Yeah, like let's.
Therefore, it's not concussion. I think you have some head trauma. Just look at the Graymander fights.
Yeah.
Another honorable mention on that UFC Busan card was Pantoja versus Schnell. Pantoja with a finish on him. It was great. Yeah. Moving up in the rankings. Yet again, flyweight.
Yeah.
That belt, it's not that hard to move up and get the next spot.
Yeah.
Whoever wins. Yet again, I think it's going to be Benavidez.
It was interesting hearing the breakdowns on that fight because I had Pantoja going in, and then everybody was like, Matt Schnell's striking. I was like, bro, look what Pantoja...
I think this is the name Danger, but Pantoja's a veteran.
Look at what Pantoja did to Brandon Moreno, though. Like, he pieced him up. He may not have the greatest power in the world.
And they fought, too, on the when they were on the... they basically made
the
Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
And the whole premise was just to find someone to beat Mighty Mouse.
Yeah, pretty much. But it was interesting to see how, like, everyone kind of had counted Pantoja out in terms of striking. I was like, do you understand how fucking accurate he was against Moreno?
He's
like,
quite well
oh my
too.
God, every time Moreno came in,
Ground
out, whatever,
striking.
he's just bing, bing, bop, beat. I was like, dude, this was the truth, you know? But it was a very exciting fight. There was a lot of back and forth. I was like, ooh, you know? It's fucking exciting.
I really think Bellator just stole it this weekend with the Friday and Saturday, even though Friday with the Marks and Barnett with the sickness got canceled. There was still Joey Davis with that nice TKO over Chris Cisneros. Joey Davis, watch out for him, up and coming. He's moving up the rankings. He had a small hiccups at the beginning of his Bellator career with some stoppages, but now he's back on that win train. So look out for him. And then Saturday, stole the show. Mostly just with the main card. We got Pineapple Practice, Lena Mae McFarland coming out of that San Diego camp. I think it's San Diego 10th Planet. Well, they have Liz Carmouche, who's now going to be, I don't know what's happening if she's going to bump up to 135, but now she's at Bellator. Is she going to fight her own teammate for the 125 belt? Like, what's with that? They have, I think, Joe Stevenson's ex-wife, Maya. I can't pronounce her last name. It's Hawaiian, sorry.
Yeah.
And again, here on Fight Life Connoisseurs, we're really bad at pronunciation.
Yeah.
She's part of that camp too. I know they have 3 California amateur state titles from 3 different women, 2 at 115 and 1 at 125. It's basically the women's super camp down there in San Diego. It's pretty nuts. So you got Liz Carmouche, Lena McFarland. It's nuts.
Fucking crazy. I did... Did you want to do the pineapple? Break down that one?
She just kind of overpowered Kate Jackson. She's well-rounded.
Rounds.
Yeah, just ground and striking. Just Kate Jackson's also a tough alumni.
Yeah,
just didn't give her anything.
I don't know how she made it through.
But I mean, there's just another Lena McFarland. I think for the 125, there's, I don't know if you know her, Valerie Laredo. The Miami Cuban superstar. She's like a Taekwondo superstar.
Who was the chick on that undercard?
There was a chick on the card that actually, that's the one that she busted her head open.
Was that the...
And she actually lost. So the girl that just beat her is going to come back on that. But for 125, there's Valerie Laredo. Carrie Melendez, Melendez's wife, she's at 115. I guess she could bump up.
Julia... Velasquez.
Yeah.
Is she a 125er as well? Or
yep, so that's in the picture too, I believe.
Dude, she's a fucking savage. Dude, I watched her fight, I was like, what the fuck
are we doing? I think they're still grooming Valeria because she only has 5 fights. And she's mostly the more glam, beautiful fighter. But she has a TKO win. She has that Taekwondo style. And she actually uses Taekwondo in her fights. It's pretty crazy.
You're like, what?
So they might use her and groom her. Otherwise, I don't really see too much besides maybe her teammate, Liz Commotion. They're going to make him fly or flyweight. So I think McFarland's pretty much got it locked, the 125 division.
Craziness.
But AJ McKee, the featherweight tournament. Campos is a really veteran too, and AJ just came in there. AJ, by the way, is my definitely top pick to win it, all the featherweight tournament. So yeah, he came in with that triangle and won it at the very end, but kind of just controlled chaos. That's what I like to call AJ McKee. Yeah. Things get violent.
Yeah, and we got to see him fight off his back for a little bit.
Undefeated.
Yeah.
And they might be pretty much all. The only decision I think he has is over Pat Curran, the old guard. I remember the 145. It was just like Daniel Strice, Pat Curran, and now we have Pitbull.
Because we were at the last fight he was at, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Just the 145. So left on that featherweight tournament, we have Adam Borix coming off that head kick win earlier with Pico.
He's had 2 flying knee knockouts. Let's be fucking real about that, okay?
Fighting Darian Caldwell, who's not even in that weight class. He's a 135er. I think he's fought at 125 before too. So I think I'm gonna give that to Adam Borix. We have Emmanuel Sanchez versus Daniel Witchell. I'm gonna give it to Sanchez. He's a straight veteran. And then we have Pitbull with Pedro Carvalho. I'm going to give it to Pitbull, the former champ. So my final 4 are AJ, Adam Borix, Sanchez, and Pitbull. But I think AJ is going to brush him up for number 1 spot. I don't know who to call out of Emmanuel Sanchez, Pitbull if they organize that fight. But I think Adam Borix is last. He's going to take 4th place. However, they want to rearrange the bracket on that.
Boom.
And again, great time to be alive in combat sports.
Oh yeah, this weekend was crazy. Another fight on the UFC Busan. There was a few on the main card that were pretty exciting. I mean, the co-main event, Volkan Ozdemir versus Alexander.
Nice decision, yeah.
Rakic.
Yeah, that's, you got it. Yeah. Pronunciation, right.
Rakic. Anyways, yo, this fool's leg. Okay, let's fucking, dude. Going into the 3rd round, they were icing it and they were like taking it off. I was like, how is this fool? And he was kind of favoring it because he started to try and catch those leg kicks. But bro, that shit was worse than who was that? Damian Maia versus Jeremy Stevens? Or Jeremy Stevens just chopping? Was that him?
I think it was Gilbert Melendez.
Yeah.
145. So Melendez got down 145. Steven, who's been down there for a while. Oh my god.
It was crazy.
Stevens was initially in his career was at 155. Came over some nice big wins.
Yeah. I mean, I was very excited about this fight. I never ended up making a pick. But I mean, Volkan coming off possibly one of the knockouts of the year against Latifi. And then Rakic.
Latifi left up at featherweight, or it should be heavyweight.
Yeah, good idea. I mean, and Rakic. Oh my god. Okay, Alex. We're gonna fucking go with that. Alex reminds me of a light heavyweight, more aggressive Stephen Thompson. With his style, the way he stays on the outside, but once he gets inside, he'll ground and pound the shit out of you. It's like most significant ground strikes in a UFC lightweight in UFC lightweight history in a fight, which is 78. Like fucking crazy. It has 1 of 7 of the only back fist knockouts in UFC history. I mean, coming into it, you were like, oh, he was a favorite, I believe. But this was an interesting thing because, right, Dominic Reyes beats Ozdemir and gets a title shot off that. So Ozdemir kind of knows, okay, like his name has that value, He's like, okay, I'll take on this guy. We'll do it. Fuck it, And getting the split decision, I mean, I feel like it was well deserved. He did crazy damage to that front leg. It was fucking insane. He never switched. It didn't seem like he was too bothered by it, but Like, it was insane. And after about the 4-minute mark of the second round, that was the only thing that commentators could talk about, was his leg. They're like, I've never seen it do that. Like, I don't know, it was just, it was crazy. And you notice it within the first, like, half of the first round. I was like, damn, that's going to be lit up. And it wasn't even part of, oh my God, it was horrible. And it was so well placed every time. It was insane. But, I mean, I don't know. Good for Ozdemir to be back in the conversation. I believe it was like a number 10 versus a number 11.
Yeah, ever since he got that loss to Daniel Cormier.
He had 3 in a row. But I think Dominic Reyes, questionable. Anthony Smith, questionable. And then finish, you know. I mean, I don't know. Not questionable, but I believe he could have won those 2 fights.
So we're seeing, I think, Dominic Reyes with Jones.
Yes.
And then there's still Corey Anderson in the picture.
Yes, who's fighting Jan Blau.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
But but that's the second time they're fighting, I guess. So I don't know. That should be interesting. And then another fight on that one was Do Hoi Choi, this Korean Superboy,
versus Cub Swanson, the battle they had.
Yes.
But then he didn't show up this time.
Yeah, versus Charles Jourdain. I mean, dude,
my DraftKings went down because of that fight. Thanks, Do Hoi Choi.
Thanks. But I mean,
also I had Frankie Edgar. Yeah, don't.
Yeah, but those are like more emotional.
Maybe pick the opposite, and you'll probably win some money. I win like 1 every 3. Usually it's the fight nights, not the pay-per-views.
Yeah, crazy.
This fight night didn't go in my favor.
But I mean, Jourdain, it was looking real rough for that boy. In the first round, it was real rough. Couldn't find his range. Do Hoi Choi has very interesting angles in which he comes in, because he'll come in over and under. He has a lot of like uppercuts, and you know what was interesting hearing the commentary is like people that throw, you know, the uppercuts, they're very susceptible, especially because he was fighting southpaw, very susceptible to the left hand, and he dropped Superboy, we're gonna go on that, Superboy in the first round with the same shit. It was a direct, just left hand, and then he ended up on the ground. He was able to kind of recover and get out of it. But the second time, in the second round, I believe, it ended in the second round, he was just able to hit it, and it was just, you could tell it just stunned him. It was too much. But the power, like he was like, I've kind of never been hit like that before. But Jourdain has 100% finish rate. 100% finish rate. I was like,
45 in UFC is looking real good. There's also the British man. I believe his name is Tim Allen.
I think he fights against RDA. I want to say that. I want to say that, but it could be making that shit up.
If you look at the roster, there's Zabit, Jeremy Stevens.
Good Lord.
And I think Zabit's main problem is cardio, so I don't see him doing a 5-round fight, winning it.
Yeah, especially wrestling. I'm excited.
We have LFA here in Orange County, Costa Mesa, January 31st. I haven't really seen the card. They're still packing it.
Yeah.
They're going to pack it with some amateur fights as well when we get to CAMO local MMA. But let's talk about UFC 246 in January. Cowboy versus McGregor. Finally going to happen. I think it was supposed to happen around June.
Yeah. Crazy.
Nothing ever happened.
But dude, this lineup is fucking crazy.
For the main card?
Fuck yeah.
We'll see Holm versus Pennington again. They fought early. Holm won a decision fight. Pretty close. Nothing like too substantial. Definitely got the head nod. Like it was a clear decision.
Yeah.
And then that got her to the Rousey knockout champion.
Yeah.
So
they were supposed to be on.
They've both been owned by Nunez. So KO on Rousey, and I believe on Pennington.
Vicious.
I don't think she might have finished her, but it was definitely 5 rounds of beating her. It went a long time.
And that was the one where
friends, I believe.
Yeah, and it was controversial because she said she didn't want to go out the next round, and their coaches said you have to,
Oh yes, I remember that.
Yeah, it was very controversial.
Controversy as hell on Corman.
Yeah, Jesus. But I mean, they finally get to run it back. They were supposed to be on 244, I believe, right? And then Holm had a hamstring injury or something, and they pushed it, but now we get to fucking see it, so fuck yeah.
Holly fan, Holly Holm Dick Rider over here.
Yes, yeah, they're fucking awesome. And then, Diego Ferreira,
Fiera, and then I believe he's fighting
Anthony Pettis.
That'd be a good one at 55.
Macy
So
Barber's on this card. A
Oh,
21-year-old versus Roxanne Moda.
Is that the prelims? So they did post the prelims?
Yeah,
okay.
they have some. I have the main card and some of the prelims here.
I'm going to get Macy Barber. I think she's the future of 115.
Well, she hits like a truck. It makes no sense.
She's so well-rounded, and she has like a high-paced cardio.
Yeah. And she's fucking aggressive.
Yeah.
Like,
she's scary. She's a scary lady.
Yeah, scary woman at 21 years old. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. Grant Dawson versus Chaz Skelly. I love Chaz Skelly. He won me over in his last fight versus Jordan Griffin.
Yeah.
He did like a front flip somersault and then like
crazy striking, but I think Dawson will probably try to take it to the ground.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good idea though, because I mean, Chaz Skelly, isn't he like Division 2, Division 1? He's a pretty accomplished wrestler.
Dawson has the grasses to do it, and I think it's because Chaz really likes to keep it on the feet.
He's a good scrambler.
With the awkward striking,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, he's pretty good. He's pretty good at wrestling, though. So I don't know. I wouldn't count him out.
That's a good matchup.
And he's a fucking character. He's hilarious.
Yeah,
he's hilarious. He won me over with his post-fight interview. I was like, okay, you're one of my new favorites. Let's see. Claudia Gadelia versus Alexa.
Yep.
Alexa Grasso.
So basically, I think they said fuck Carla Esparza with their win over Grasso. I was like, we're moving you up to somebody who beat Esparza, Claudia Gadelia.
Barely. Which is interesting because I feel like Grasso maybe got robbed on that last one, but Carla Esparza definitely got robbed against Claudia Gadelia. She was fucked up. Like it was
if that went 4 and 5,
I was like,
one of those 3-round fights that you see that like I remember Zabit versus Jeremy Stevens. I'm like, he started to slow down. And I was like, if it was 4 and 5, I think Jeremy Stevens would have came back with a clear knockout win.
Yeah.
There's those 3-round fights that I know they're not title fights, but make them 5-round fights. When they're not main events, just make it a 5-round fight. Come on, you owe it to the fans.
Yeah, and Alexa Grasso is actually my second favorite female fighter. She was supposed to fight my favorite female fighter, Marina Rodriguez. They were scheduled to fight, and then it got canceled. I think someone fought at that time, or they moved it, or whatever. But
she's great. She's got her only thing. What we saw in the Esparza fight was the grappling a little bit, but then she started tough takedowns. Her striking, her boxing is.
Yeah. Oh my God, she's the most beautiful striker I think I've ever seen in my life. She's so, and you look at it, you're like, damn, like you're a fucking striking athlete machine. Like, I don't know. I think she's dope. But definitely, I mean, on the ground, she was throwing up submissions on the ground. She had Carla Esparza. I don't know how her fucking arm got out of that position.
Oh, yes.
But that was fucking crazy. I was like, what? Yeah, but I mean, but in terms of wrestling, I think maybe her wrestling needs some work. Her clinch needs some work.
It was just the timing, really. So Esparza, when she was committing to the punches, that's when Esparza changed levels and shot.
Yeah. But I mean, she has that wrestling back.
I think Alexa should have did more to do a get up rather than submissions and sweeps. More get up wrestling.
She had a lot of ground time. Not okay.
We also have Andre Fili, favorite, another good 145 in the 145 division.
Shout out to Sacramento. I know all my people in Sacramento are fucking hyped about this shit.
He's a great guy. Even Max Holloway said, it was like his hardest fight.
Yeah,
he hits so
hardest
hard.
Fight.
When you see Fili, he is fun to watch on the feet. His striking, his movement is great.
Yeah.
Just
and versus Sadiq, man, this is going to be a very exciting, possibly fight of the night. I think. I mean, they're both very exciting.
Yet again, it depends on Cowboy and McGregor at the very, very end.
Yeah. I don't know. I have Conor by knockout.
You think because Conor's
if it goes to the ground,
he's known for knocking people out in the first round.
And he's a fast starter.
He's a fast starter.
Cowboy
he goes
is
in there.
Slow starter.
He's not in there, so it's.
I don't know.
If it goes in late rounds, you can give it to Cowboy. If it goes in early rounds, Conor. But Cowboy's such a slow starter. He knows it, and everyone knows.
But it's hard. We haven't even seen McGregor in
a while. So it'll be a fun fight.
Yeah.
And I just love the propaganda with it. There's like the Budweiser versus proper whiskey.
And it'll be interesting to see how Cowboy deals with the shit talking, because I know that's a thing, because he tries to be friends with his opponents, and when they talk shit back to him, he's like blah blah blah, and it kind of like it fucks him up.
So when Diaz fight, when he was doing the talk shit, he he got shut off in that fight because Nate Diaz didn't win.
I don't know.
Tip his cowboy hat off.
Yeah.
So we get another attitude. But
so
I think McGregor's more of a role, so I think he'll see through it. I think he'll just smile and nod.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll talk some shit back, but it'll be all fun and games.
I don't know. I just hope maybe Cerrone's chin can kind of hold up to get past that, because I feel like
it'll be basic boxer versus kickboxer.
Yeah.
It's gonna be on. The problem is Cerrone stands so still. He's got a little bit more head movement than most kickboxers.
But he's very
but it's very
strong.
Yeah. So not that hard to find that left hand on that bad boy, which is McGregor's go-to. Yeah,
for that southpaw movement.
It'll be a fun fight. Everyone's gonna tune in.
Yeah, they better.
It's not even a belt on line, but
they better.
Yeah. Locally, we have CAMO here in California, amateur MMA. We got Spar Star on January 11th, and we'll get into that. The card's so big.
Yeah.
But later on, I believe, February 2nd, KO Promotion, Tracy Hess, Antonio McKee, Agent McKee's dad.
Fucking Long Beach. Boom.
There'll be a nice, good fight. It's a nice stack card. Come check it out, local MMA. But there's a nice title fight versus Cody Davis versus Randy Sosa. Two veterans. Cody Davis kind of new. I think Randy's been fighting that amateur for a while. So
yeah, because I
know
believe
Cody has the belt right now for KO Promotion, but I believe there could be a state title on the lines for this. It depends on David Adankin. There's some politics, but
I know Sparstar is definitely.
Tune into that one. Sparstar, we're logging in right now.
And if you don't know, Sparstar MMA probably has the best amateurs in Southern California.
Between them and Epic Fighting, because they both go overboard with the theatrics. But Heather Leanne, the matchmaker, and Harvey Costello down below, they pack the cards.
I went to Epic Fighting the last time around. They had a lot of exciting fights, a lot of KOs. I mean, the one thing that really struck me about Sparstar MMA is all of these people could be pros. Like, all of them. I didn't see, even if it was like, it was someone, there's a lot of people that were like debuting, and I'm like, bro, like, why are you so composed? Like, I didn't, like, because you see the spazziness sometimes come out. Like, I don't know, in California Fight League, you see a lot of that. They do a lot of, like, amateur fighting, and you see a lot of people spazzing out or just not moving, not making the correct decisions because you're like, oh, okay, this is, like, their first fight. Like, Sparstar MMA, oh, my God, fucking 100% all the way through. Also, shout out to Michael Gross, who hooked me up with Ringside last time, so that was pretty fucking lit.
I like Mike. He's a cool dude.
Yes, he is. He's super dope. So if you don't follow him on Instagram.
Yeah, I love all the matchmaking. I think Tony Padino is promotion.
Very nice. Very nice dude as well.
Mike Gross, kind of ahead of the promotion, like, advertising, things like that. We got Heather Leanne, the matchmaker. She's great.
Yeah.
Some good upcoming fights. I got my local training partner, Trevor Santana, 4-0 versus Obi at a Millennium MMA, I believe.
Who's a beast. I just saw Trevor fight at IFS, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Obi's 3-3, 0-1 in Camo, but I believe it's more fights. I think he's fought all over, like in Vegas. So definitely an amateur that kind of needs to move up. I believe they're at welterweight too, so now he's coming down to lightweight. Sabrina Lopez, the local hottie. Up-and-coming star. I believe she's 1-0 right now.
Yeah, I saw her last fight.
MMA. Maybe we'll have her on the podcast.
Yeah, I saw her last fight against, I think her name was Priscilla or something. Cam Priscilla or something. I mean, how are you going to tell? It was both of their debuts. How are you going to fucking tell? But it was kind of a mismatch. The aggression
Sabrina's
level of her.
She's an essay. She's come down to fight.
Yeah, she's fucking legit.
She's coming out of Bathroom's Lean MMA, and then I believe Muscle Farm.
I
think her jiu-jitsu coach is...
She's so fucking nice, though. She really is. She's really nice. Really nice lady. Fucking beast, yeah.
I know I fought her teammate, Zach Krasinski. He just came off his pro debut with a win with a rear naked choke with Lights Out Fight League. So that's great. So maybe
they had a crazy card last time too.
Yeah, Lights Out. It's a great promotion coming from California, Extreme Fighting.
Yeah, Steve Bash, the fucking man.
So it'd be good to see her on the card. I think she's going against another debuter. They're still kind of building her up. Cody Davis is on this one too against a number 12 ranked guy. I don't know if he's going to follow through with that one, if he's going to fight in February. Maybe he'll go back and back. CMA's crazy. Chad George. You never know.
You got about Less than a month.
We got my boy Arturo, Sad Boy, going against Christopher Cruz from Black House for the 125. Nope,
that'll be a really good fight.
135 state title.
Arturo's also a stand-up comedian, if you don't know.
Yeah.
And he's fucking, he's fucking funny.
Yeah, they're great.
Funny.
He did something about like world history too, as me as a historian too. I was laughing. It was about the Zimmerman telegram. He's like, we missed out on that. We should have took him up. We should have took up Jeremy. We would have got all those lands we lost. We would have got the Alamo back.
Yeah. He's funny. He's funny, dude.
Who else is on the card? They put the main card in the middle, prelims at the beginning, prelims at the end. 2 lightweights coming up from Millennium MMA. There's David Zellner, I believe he was the IE Fight Night champion. And then we have the KO Promotion lightweight champion, Richie Miranda from CSW. That's a good one to watch. I don't know if there's a belt in line for Sparstar.
Dude, CSW people are fucking monsters.
There's so many of them. I mean, we got Jacob Rosales, we got Chris Melender, so many. Crazy. They have quite a large pro and amateur team. There's so many people, so many bodies.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, my boy Anthony De Silva's on from Iron Man. Awesome. He's 2-0. I believe both of them were from Epic Fighting, so now he's up at Sparstar. Shout out to him. He hits pretty hard. Jeffrey Craig, another local boy. My teammate, sparring partner, 2-0. Coming out middleweight. Welterweight didn't do that great with that weight cut. I think he could do it better. But we're going to see him at middleweight again versus 3-2. Man, this card is stacked. She had a Leanne don't mess around because she knows fights are going to drop, so she stacks it.
Oh, Anthony Romero is on this fight. He fought, I believe, in CFL. This was a fucking... Yeah, CFL. I saw him in CFL. Dude, this fool's a fucking beast. This dude is a beast. He fights like a pro already, and he's 2-0 in amateurs. He's out of Black House MMA, and I believe who is cornering him? He just fought on Lights Out against the Lion.
Oh, Ryan Lely, who's out of Basswood's Elite MMA. We were just talking about that camp.
Albert
Morales. He was in the UFC for a while, and then now he's back down to Lights Out.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. Anthony Romero versus David Mariquin.
Super camps out here. We got CSW, we got Black House, CMMA.
Jesus. Oh, Jeff's on this card. Jeffrey?
Yep, Jeff Craig. Yeah,
hey. I was like, oh. That's exciting.
Look up MMA out here in California. Check us out.
He kind of had a rough going on this fight that he had. He looked a little gassed.
Just that weight cut. Now we're back at middleweight.
Yeah. Oh, Mark Pacquiao is on that fight as well from Black House.
Yeah, he's 3-0. He's looking pretty good.
Yeah, I saw him fight his last 2 fights, actually. Jasmine Ponce, the fucking tap-out queen.
Yeah, 5-7.
She fought on Fearless MMA.
And then she's fighting Alendria Brown, who I think is Jacob Rosales' girlfriend now at a CSW, and she's bounced around camps. I think she was at Black House before. And our own Debo, Diane Mendoza, fought her at KO Promotions for a title and got the dub over her. So that should be a decent one. Yeah, it's a
I remember her. She's fucking aggressive.
Yeah.
She's a very good fighter. Oh, and she fought on Fight Night. The Hawaiian the Gardens.
Yeah. I like that venue for OC Fight Club, besides, the hangar.
Yeah. Dude, it gets fucking cold when they open that door. I'm like, nah, you need to fucking relax, bro. Oh, Jing Young Choi, I saw him. He was on the OC
Another
Fight
CSW
Club.
guy.
Yeah.
There's also, like I said, Super Camp. Rick Flores is on there from CSW, so that corner's going to be stocked at CSW.
Yeah.
I believe I'll probably end up being in that corner. They might have to move some stuff around. Yeah, because they have Arturo and Jeff in different corners. So, yeah, it's going to get a bit
Wow, that'll be really good. Everyone's going to come out to that. One thing also, too, about Sparstar MMA, it's always fucking packed. It's always packed out.
Oh, I remember last time I fought there, too. There was a fight breaking out. We almost didn't fight.
Really? Oh, my God.
They have shares there. It's in the Commerce Casino. It's a great venue.
Yeah.
I love it. It's awesome. And they do good with the theatrics, walkouts off the stage.
Yeah.
The commentators, we have, I believe, it's Kevin Widows, MMA fighter, and I believe, should know his name. Sorry. Oh, I'm butchering it.
That's okay.
Commentators were great. They gave me my first
Your first win?
on the commentary, but then I lost that split decision. Yet again, Zach Francesca. Maybe we'll run it back. We got to come down to 145. I do 155 again. I'm staying at my skinny boy weight.
Oh my god. Fucking epic. Yeah, this year is so exciting for fights.
2020. New year,
good
me.
Lord. Yeah, right? UFC schedule 2020. Yeah, we got McGregor, Cerrone, Curtis Blades, Junior Dos Santos, John Jones, Dominic Reyes. Ooh, Valentina's on that. Valentina's on that. Shikagan.
Oh, blonde fighter, Blondie. That's a weird name. But yeah, she's on the East Coast. She's a veteran, but I'd rather see that Reno Aldana. I think she's next in line, like I said, and see her what she got against Valentina.
Yeah, Jesus. Oh, and then the next one, Corey Anderson, Jan Blachowicz. Oh, Paul Felder, Dan Hooker. What? Megan Anderson. What is she? What are we doing?
Megan Anderson at 145?
Yeah. I don't know. They have her as the main event. And then Alex Oliveira versus Mickey Gall. That's an interesting.
Yeah, Mickey Gall. I think
I'm not excited. I'm not excited. Sorry, I'm not.
It's okay.
He said he fixed his cardio, and his cardio was so shit in the third round.
Sanchez
but he looked way better. He got into the third round, you know. But Diego Sanchez, wild
so
man.
Veteran.
Dude,
it's like tough one.
Right? God.
They need to get have some more money. Maybe she should fight the PFL. I like PFL lately with Kayla Harrison. They basically made a division for 145 women's.
They have Mr. McDonald.
Now we have McDonald over there at 170, which would be like who fights out of there? There was Jake Shields, and then there was the guy that Ray Cooper III. There's John Dudays Howard. Just knocked him out, and I believe it's one of the Dagestanis that was the champion last year that won the million. The 45's not that bad either with Lance Palmer and I believe Steven Seiler. It's a great promotion. They got Ramsey Nejum there too. They have all the veterans. I hired the veterans. You know, nice and then Risen. Probably later on the podcast we'll probably talk more about maybe some left Y. I know Montana's trying to legalize it. Bare knuckle fighting is rising because all the matchups. They bring all these. It's
so crazy. Well, it's like
all these old veterans. They're like, no, don't fight, don't do it. But you're like, oh, I gotta watch it.
If you can't go to WWE, bare knuckle boxing is right next to it. It's the next step. It's the next step.
They bring in like Gabriel Gonzaga was fighting on it. I haven't heard his name forever since he knocked out Mirko Cop with a head kick.
Dude,
it's crazy. So
I don't know.
It's podcast.
Yeah,
it's gonna be lit.
It's gonna be so lit. It's gonna be so lit.
Should we wrap this up?
I think so. We covered a lot. Covered a lot.
All
right. We'll see you next time. This time next week, right?
Whenever. Actually, we're about to go on vacation. Holidays.
Yeah.
We'll try to catch up on the more precise, maybe do some better fight breakdowns, really break it down on the strategy.
Well, I think we'll have less to break down.
We just had to cover a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Yeah. This is Fight Life Connoisseurs.
Catch you next time.